A very good evening to you and you're welcome. Welcome to the show Nka, only on Afia TV, broadcasting live from the most beautiful part of Nigeria. I'm talking about Enugu, Nigeria on DSTV 254 and GoTV 17, also on Free TV 748. It's a pleasure to be here once again. A beautiful Wednesday evening, and my name is Jumai Bolama Ashebu. I have a lot to say. 2 days until Valentine, lots of speculations, lots and lots of conversations around what to expect. I saw a post where someone was talking about expecting a live goat. Someone was saying, I prefer a live cow instead of roses, and of course chocolate. I don't know what your preference is, but we'd like to know on Afia TV Official. So let us know and tag us at Afia TV Official for us to know what your take is on Valentine gifts, which is more realistic, food or like a platter of food or chocolate and all the romantic stuff. I do have someone rather interesting who just celebrated a huge feat recently, and I will be introducing her in just a bit. But right after this break, don't go anywhere. Nka, only on Afia TV. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. Nka simply means art in Igbo, and we started the show with, of course, people who are in the entertainment industry, talking about their life's journey and how far it has brought them. But over the years, we sort of expanded and explored different angles. And, you know, we just have amazing people who have done remarkable things on our couch, here to share their stories, to inspire you, and of course, myself. Because every night feels like a blessing. Just go on different journeys and it feels amazing. Well, tonight it wouldn't be any different, as we are joined by a woman whose work bridges between medicine and everyday life. She's not just a doctor, she's also an advocate for holistic well-being and a mentor to a lot of young medical professionals. She's definitely one whose life is filled with passion, perseverance, and purpose. I'm excited to dive into tonight's interview because joining us tonight is a face you see on Afia TV. She is a family and lifestyle physician. She's also a Young Doctors Forum coordinator for Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, Enugu. Joining us is not other than the one you love, your fave, Dr. Brenda Akanisi. Drum rolls. It's a pleasure to have you on our couch.
Thank you.
A lot of people are going to be wondering, what's she doing here? It's not Ghana Plus. But I mean, it's such an amazing opportunity, and we're grateful that, I mean, we're able to get you on this couch. You're a very busy person.
Thank you, Jume, for having me.
It's also in order to say belated happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
40th. And, you know, it just makes us wonder how you feel, especially with the new year, and of course, your expectations for the new year and beyond.
Okay, first of all, I think, thanks to Afia, I felt the love from the Afia team. Like, oh my God, everyone just put up my picture, that they keep messages from Afia. I was like, oh my God. And even my friends were like, oh, Brenda, I heard your shout on the radio, I heard your shout on the TV. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, yes, Mama, we made it. But I think it's exciting because it's the beginning of a new year, 2025. And I just turned, 40. So it was exciting. It was really, really exciting. And, prior to the day, my friends were actually like, what's the plan? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody wanted to know, the tea. But I planned something big. Then towards, the date, I just was like, you know what? I don't want to stress myself. I'm just entering into a new phase, and I want to soak it all in and enjoy it and truly just have conversation with people that have inspired me since I was little, and people that I know will be there for me in my future. So we're just a very closely knitted stuff I just had with, family and all that. And, I was glad that I celebrated it the way I wanted to, not as, people will expect me to. So it was a good thing. I like taking pictures. I feel like I had a very nice photo shoot and all that. So
we saw the BTS. Courtesy somebody, but we did see a lot.
So it was fun. And one fun thing I did was towards the end of that day, or I think the next day, I had to write 40 things I was thankful for. And as I kept penning them down, I just felt this burst of like genuine happiness. And coincidentally, a cousin of mine, she also turned 40 the same day, the same year. We were born the same day, the same year.
Wow. Twins.
So we were actually talking prior to that day with my other close friend. We were doing like a video call. And we were just pondering on in our 20s, what would we tell our 20-year-old self? And one of them was like, so that was not like, oh, I'll tell her to exercise more and eat right. And the other one, seriously, was like, I would tell her to start reading for her medical exam on time. And I said, for me, I think I'll just say, take it easy. Don't be hard on yourself. Just realize you won't be 20 forever. Do you get it? So you know when people feel I'm all that and a bag of chips, just so that phase will pass. So utilize your youth very, very well. So, but overall it was a good experience, and thankful that it fell into the month of January where I was trying to make sure I map out, not just map out, but really be intentional about, okay, what have I done in the past and where do I think I'm heading to, and how can I, really make sure everything I do moving forward is going to be beneficial to me and other people around me. So how is it a win-win situation moving forward? So it was a good one.
Oh, that's amazing. And of course, we celebrate with you.
Thank you.
But now it's important for us to dive into it.
Okay.
Medicine is a profession that requires deep dedication. So I think when I see you on Gyna Plus, one of the questions that comes to mind is, when did you decide, or when did you discover that you see this path, it is the path I'm going to go, and I don't mind how much it will take from me, I would definitely go through this path? When did you discover that medicine was definitely for you?
Okay, let me say this. When I was, I think in my SS2, SS3, I was meant to be like a social science student, right? So because in our school, I schooled in the north, so I grew up in Kaduna, I was born and brought up in Kaduna, right?
Exactly, I was going to ask you that.
So in my JS3, there's an aptitude test you do to know where they'll place you, art, social science, or science. So I did it, and I was placed under social science. And my dad is like, all his kids are all science students, because in my house there are 3 doctors, 3 engineers. So my dad is like, you have to go to science. He came to school and said, okay, get her into science, not just that, include further maths into the equation. And I'm like, okay. Now I knew there were some art courses that I kind of liked, but I knew my strong point was also in science. Like for me, biology came effortlessly to me. I probably didn't need to read it and I'll do well. Maths, like everybody in my house is very good, like really, really good in maths. So I knew that wasn't going to be a problem. Physics and chemistry, thanks to my dad. So he's an engineer. So physics was, you had no choice. You get. So around SS2, I was contemplating engineering because I was close to my dad. So I was like, okay, I'm good in math, physics. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll take towards being an engineer. But then again, this is funny because some of my siblings had already read engineering. I realized that the ones that are reading medicine, when they come home for holiday, for Christmas holiday, my dad would say, oh, they shouldn't stress them, Because, and the ones that were engineers, like, so I said, So I still have my journal. I wrote down when I was confused, like, okay, then my mom wanted me to be a lawyer.
Wow.
Because she was like, oh, you can argue and have the the physics. So she wanted me to be a lawyer. And she has a lot of science students. I was like, at the point that now, like, I'll be a pharmacist. So I was really at that point in time, because I now had my journal where I penned down stuff. And I now said, okay, what is it in me that wants to read medicine besides the perks my sisters were getting? And I said, for me, I genuinely care about people. That I really, really want people to do well. And I was like, okay, I'm good in biology. I have intentions to help people. So for me, it was just like, okay. Now I got into medical school, and the first major exam, which is second MBD, all my second MBD, I remember that night before the exam, I called my mom. I said, Mommy, my head is full. Because, I drank so much. So I was like, Mommy, I don't think I got. So my mom had to calm me down. And so my other sisters were in the same medical school with me in Navy. Now there's a great university. So I think one of them that said, oh, you thought it was easy, right? Yeah. We told you you're the baby of the house. Just go and read those soft course you get. So after I passed through that second MBA, I think for me, I just knew this was the place I was meant to be. And when I now got into clinicals, I realized that there was something about seeing those patients that just made it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. There was one patient I got so attached to that they lived in Port Harcourt, but due to his condition, he had to come to the Navy. And when they left, I remember so the wife informed me, I think things didn't pan out well later on. So I remember when I went to Port Harcourt to see a friend, I went to look for them. So even when the kids came to see, their dad and all that, they come to my place. So for me, it was beyond the profession. It was just like, how do you make sure somebody comes in there and goes out feeling much, much better? So I think even some of my sister was like 4 classes above me. So her classmates will come and say, this girl, you're always in the ward. You're always, you're so attached to your patients. And sometimes the consultants, when they come for ward round, if you want any information about the patient assigned to me, ask me. Because I will tell you the one that he's not even willing to disclose to you. That's how, attached I was to my clients. Although, when I started practicing, some senior colleagues had to tell me, okay, yes, you should be compassionate and empathic, but then again, you should also know how to tone it down, because sometimes your emotions will cloud your judgment you get. And I went to Zaria, worked a bit in Kaduna, and it was still the same experience. Something about some patients you just click with, and you just realize it's irrespective of tribe or religion.
Of course.
I remember one time we had a Muslim patient. I had to go for, when they were doing the burial, I went there to see the family.
Wow.
You understand? So for me, it's something about when you're in the space, in the health space, you just want to make sure that you leave an impact and somebody goes back feeling. So even if the outcome is not in favor of the patient, they know that they were seen when they stayed in that, facility. I think that's what matters at the end of the day.
Hearing you speak about it, it sounds like a calling.
I think it is. I keep saying to myself, I don't think I would have been fulfilled
doing any other.
I don't think I would have been fulfilled. To be honest, the final year, I made up my own practice. Let me just keep it real, yes. Because the subspecialty I wanted to do then was adolescent medicine, and we're not doing it in Nigeria. It wasn't, I didn't know any institution that was doing it. So I was just like, nah. So in our final year, we went to New York for 3 months. We posted. And I'll never forget, I saw 2 females. They were in theater. This work, the way you see some of these medicals, shows, series and all that. And I was like, oh my God, there was something about it that I was like, I can't be like this. So they didn't even know. They did not know, because we were just students who would come to the theater and observe what they were doing and all that. But the way these girls were just there, I think they were senior residents at the time, so the consultant was there supervising. And the way they just had this aura about them, I was like, okay, I'll practice. I will go back up.
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind. I will practice. So for me, it just tells you how, when you act right, you don't know who's watching. Because they did not know what they were doing actually influenced me. So I went back and said, you know what? I'll still rough it out. I'm still in the game. I'm not leaving anytime soon. So that's it.
Something came to mind. If you were to describe your experience in medical school in 3 words, what would that be?
Fun. I would say fun. It was, I don't want to use the word wild, because, my mom is watching this. I would say fun, very exciting, and it was a time of growth for me. Because I wasn't this, see this personality you're seeing, I wasn't like that. Yeah, I wasn't. I think me being outspoken and all that started in my SS3. So in my school then, the SS3 were meant to organize a show. So that was the first time I climbed on stage. I did MC with my close friend, shout out to Shay. So we MC'd the competition in school that we had after how many years? This competition is still on.
Wow.
So I got into year 1. I used to perform with my friends on stage. We used to dance, for departmental nights. And I just realized, okay, so will I say the quiet side of me kind of started coming out? Because you do your year 1 in the main campus, that's Oka, before you now go to the medical section. So by the time I was there with my friends, we had like a little group, So I now went to the medical campus. It took me time to adjust, because those were my girls, do you understand? So when I got into the medical school, of course, you have to, medicine, they train you not just in academics, character as well. So there's some things I knew I had to taper down. Then I got fully active in church. So they made me an ESCO among the Catholic students. So there's a kind of way you're expected to behave.
Of course.
So, and we used to meet, so the ESCOs used to meet together to pray and check up on each other, hope you're reading and all that. Then my reading mate was now one of the ESCOs. So we'll read together. If I didn't understand anything, he would explain to me. So I now realized, okay, I was building like a little community there. So when we have shows in church, I'll come, anchor it, or we have some SUG stuff. So before I knew it, I just started doing things like that. Then my friend had a wedding. Now when I got to clinical, so anytime they're doing anything, most likely they will call me. Even at the point my lecturers knew me, like they needed ushers for their book launch, just say, Brenda. Then I now became the president at the point in time of the medical dance group. We had a club like dancing and singing for medical students. So any event they were doing, they will call me and all. Then I think the big one I had was when they told me to do a wedding. My friend said, I said no. I said, what
Plan
I do
a wedding.
No, I should do the MC for her wedding.
Oh, wow.
I said no. I said I do school stuff. I don't do like outside school stuff. She said, like, no, you go. I said, no, you're not hearing me. I don't do weddings. Weddings, there'll be elderly people there. Your parents will be there. Like, I said, no, my lecturers will be there. I said, nah. So she now insisted. So I said, okay, fine. So I now told one of my friend, and I told, would he assist me? He said, fine, no problem. So I came out and so later, one of my lecturers now said, did you take a training in that? I'm like, no, sir. Like, he said, oh, wow, you're good. I was like, oh, really? Then I got to camp, because I was not posted, I did my NYC in Kaduna. So the media team.
OBS.
Thank you. So I said, so I used to hear them, in the morning, and the doctors would say separately.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to. So I got there where the day they were picking people. So people were saying they are maybe because they read mass comm, So I was only medical doctor there. So the guy looked at me and was like, what are you doing here? I said, no, I've anchored a lot of shows. I've done this, I've done. He looked at me and said, put her in. And one of the best shows we had when we were in camp was one I anchored with one of the guys. I was like the talk of, camp that day. So I just realized that, okay, see, I know I can come in front of the camera and talk, right? And I know there's a lot of health issues that needs to be said. So how do you just merge the two, right? And people don't understand the power of information. There's some people you can just tell a little, what's the word now? Give them a little tip and say, okay, have you done this test or have you done this? It may probably be this. And they go and discover, oh, it was bigger than what they thought. So that little information that they just push them a little further to the next step opens up the full picture.
Definitely.
You get. So for me, people, it's beyond just being on TV, it's beyond just talking on radio. It's like, what information can somebody just hear, hold on to it and say, you know what, when next I see my physician, I'm going to ask about this. I'm going to, because it's not everything your doctor is going to tick or ask you, but there's something you're going to discuss with him and he brings it to light. And now sometimes I tell some of my friends, I say, most of the things you're going to ask me, I've discussed it on Ghana Plus, especially concerning women. So I say, if you want to ask me something, go watch that episode. Let's say you want to talk about fibroid, watch the episode of fibroid. If you don't find what you're looking for, then you come back. Do you understand? So I think people have to understand, at every point in time, God is going to show your strength. So you have to know how to walk in it and how to make sure it's of value to other people around you. So, wow.
I mean, you've definitely done a lot, so I couldn't help but exclaim. But now, thinking about how far you've come, what from your medical journey till date, what unexpected lesson would you say you learned along the way?
That for the fact you're a good person doesn't mean some unpleasant things will happen to you. For the fact you have good intentions towards people doesn't mean they will not hurt you. So I think for me, that's one thing I learned, because I'm the baby of the house. Like, I have siblings who dote over me, like my immediate dote over me. And when you live in that, how will I put it now? I have to thank God I was born privileged. I'm not going to be denied of that. And sometimes you don't know the true picture of what's happening in the real world. And I'm so grateful, because I was meant to go to a private university. And I'm so grateful my dad last minute changed his mind, because I would have been out of touch with reality. And me going to federal university opened my eyes to a lot of things. And then you see different personalities and all that. It shaped me, I would not lie. It shaped me, and it just helped me to see things from different perspectives. And now it also made me realize that for the fact I have empathy towards you, I'm kind towards you, I will not get it. It hit me hard in my year one. And it may appear like nothing, but I remember then, let's say we go hang out, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll just pay for everybody's, do you understand?
It's nothing.
And there's one day I think I didn't come out with money. And I'm like, okay.
Can you?
And everybody seemed to have an excuse that day.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I think those little things, didn't mean, you know how over time you just start thinking of like, And that was before I found my squad. Did you get? Because then when you come into uni, you just hanging out people in your department and all that. So, but then again, not everybody was like that. There's some of your friends who would go above and beyond for you. But I think that was my first touch reality that people will not necessarily be kind to you. And even in my adulthood, I remember a friend of mine, a very close friend, I always stay behind if I go to Abuja. And she said, one day I told her something. I said, babes, you've changed. She was my roommate in medical school. I said, you've changed. And she said, life will change you. That, you know, when people... And I said, no, but the core of who you are. I said, don't let them take that away. And she said, Brenda, I don't understand how you just remain smiley and happy. I said, but what's the point? I said, if I'm going to forgive them 5 years from now, why hold on to it? Do you get? So at the end of the day, if I see my life as being blessed, I have an amazing family who constantly support me. Of course, they rake me. They shout when it's necessary to shout and shake me up like, reach your full potential. But then again, it's like, when you're calm, you see the blessings you've had and you run with it, and you realize that not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to like your loudness or your large personality, but it's okay. Your personality was meant to serve something. So ignore the people who are just like, let me say, mosquito sounds. You have to get to a point where you just ignore it and it doesn't matter. Even if the team of people rooting for you are little, that's all that counts. So I think that's it. So you would, I went for a conference last year in Lagos, lifestyle medicine. And one thing, the president said, Brenda is always laughing. And she's always smiling. And I'm like, oh wow, is it that obvious? Like, is it that obvious? You don't know how that laughter can change somebody's day. Even let's say I'm going to the airport now, you know where you pay for the toll gate fee and all that. Sometimes I'll just drop a little extra cute talk to the person. I'll just be like, how you doing? How you doing? I just see the guy's face just light up. And I'm like, it just goes a long way. Because the guy may be sitting down there, he just has 10,000 problems in his head. And I'm saying that because there's a point in time, I kind of left the profession because I was in a consulting room one day and I was just like, man. But the minute a patient walks in, you have to. So one of my consultants walked in and he said, oh, Brenda, this is not like you. I know how you react when I come in. I said, Chief, man, like I just feel. He said, I know, it will happen. He said, remember the first day you set a line for a patient? Were you excited? I was like, yes. He said, after a while, was it exciting? Like, no. He said, it will come. But you have to remind yourself why you're in that profession. But me sitting down there, some people will not know what you're going through. They will not know some battles you have to fight. But then you have to show up. So imagine if a patient walks in and is very kind to me and it's like, oh, doctor, how you doing? Don't you think it will put me in a better mood? Compared to somebody walking and say, doctor, I've been here since. You just be like, oh, God, not taken. So for me, if I know that when people talk to me kindly, it changes my, affect and all that. So I can extend that same gesture to everybody around me. So that's just it.
I think that's the best message to send, especially at this season where everyone is thinking about Valentine as just a day or a period to show romantic love. Even the Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. And I think it's wise for us to remember at this point that, just a little smile can go a long way. We'll go for a quick break right now. When we do come back, more on the show. Don't go anywhere. We're watching Nka Undi on Afia TV, and we're having such an amazing time with your fave, Dr. Brenda Akanisi, and, just hearing her talk about her life's journey and how far she's come. And of course, things she's learned over the years. I'm sure a lot of you are inspired tonight. Maybe you won't get inspired to go into medicine. Who knows? But it's such a pleasure to still have you here with us.
Thank you, Chumai.
All right, there's something we do on the show.
Okay.
Where we get to appreciate our guests and make them feel loved. So right now, studio, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's put a smile on Dr. Brenda's face. The only way we know how to.
That was my swearing in. That was my swearing in, so you can see I was bad like that.
Yes.
And story, that outfit, I couldn't find the inner top. I had to buy it that morning because I didn't know what to wear under the
but everything was, it was lit.
You see? Oh, yes, sir. Well, being welcomed into the noble profession. Oh, that's my. This is like my G. My mommy.
Aww.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is it. So you have to show it off. Try. I was waiting for a big hamper to come. Okay, this was my sister's strand.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of my friends thought I got married that day. I was just laughing because I didn't put my sister's wedding. I just kept laughing. They said, "Oh, Brenda, congrats." I was just laughing. That was my sister's strand.
Oh, wow.
So I helped plan her wedding. This was when we were in New York.
Okay.
I went for our posting. It was fun. Good 3 months. You know.
Wonderful.
So this was the first outing that we had before the second one.
Aww.
Jumai, I know why you want to dig all these things.
Yeah. So what we do with those photos is to remind you of how far you've come. And to let you know that, you know what, we're rooting for you because you're doing amazing things and we cannot wait for the mind-blowing things that will come, you know, in the nearest future.
Amen.
So now, I feel we're going to take a downslide slope in the next conversation.
Okay.
And talk about your experience practicing medicine in Nigeria. Yeah, that's why I said downside.
I don't want to shake any table. Because I had a conversation with a colleague the other day. I don't want to shake any table.
Well, I mean, it's your experience. And the truth is, we cannot run away from such discussions. We definitely need to talk about them. Because one of the questions I plan to ask much later is, if you were able to change something in the health sector, just one major thing, what would that be? But that's much later. But talking about your experience practicing medicine in Nigeria, and of course coming back home, which is the Southeast, oftentimes we try to explore problems and prefer solutions because we need a headway.
Okay. I don't even know, I'll try not to get teary. But I think sometimes in the profession, there are some things that you know were avoidable. Some outcomes that were avoidable. And I've done more of private than, working in a government hospital. And but recently I was at a government hospital some days ago and I went to discuss some things with some colleagues there. And for me, I would say to start with the positives. I'm still happy to see my colleagues, especially my seniors, even some of my peers that are still passionate about the profession. Like, you see them giving their all. Despite the fact that they're professors or they've been consultants for years, there's still this passion. There's my son's pediatrician. I remember sometimes he'd be like, I need to go see my babies. He's a neonatologist. I need to go make sure they're okay. And I'm like, but you're just coming back from see. He'd be like, I need to make sure my babies are okay. Like, he's rushing there to make sure. Or he'd be like, I need to go teach my students and all that. And so when you see such people who still, after how many years? Because I met him when I was still in medical school. After how many years, and he's still that passionate, it stirs something within you. So I would say a big shout out to my colleagues who are kicking it every day, who are showing up every day, who are giving their best, sometimes donating their own funds. I know how many times we donate funds to buy patients medications, to make sure they get admission and all that. And people don't know the struggle you go through, because there's sometimes you see some cases that you just can't send them away, because if they leave, the outcome is not very good. So for those who show up every day and give their best, and see, enough respect is not easy. Now, coming to the structure, a lot can be done. The other day, a news channel was talking about, I don't want to call any name, but, the minister said, a lot of people were coming into the country for medical tourism and all that. So one of the anchors there said, are they coming to the government hospital, to private hospitals? They will be coming, but where are they going to? And you and I would know the answer to that. Of course. And so, but at least the positive is like they're coming in. Which, when you hear it, it'll be like,
really?
Let me speak pidgin here. Did they leave Yankee? Maybe they come find healthcare. So it tells you that if nothing, at least we're being recognized that, okay, we have good hands. We have trained people who can actually, give good outcomes. But now the other thing we'll look at is but it's the private sector. So that means if you don't have the coin, you can't afford that kind of help. And one thing that is my motto I believe in is optimize healthcare for everyone. So I tell myself this, like, people are segregated every day based on their class, based on the amount of money they have, based on their eloquence, whether they are bougie or not. Health shouldn't be a defining factor. When it comes to health, everybody should get good healthcare, irrespective of how much you're earning. Do you understand? And when you see that is not happening, your hands are tied, because in every system there's a structure. And when you're still on the, you're still on the, you know, when the pyramid, you're still at the down part, you ask yourself, what can you do? But if nothing, I told my friend something. I said, we have the privilege to go for outreaches, right? As medical women, we do outreaches once in a while. I said, the little we can do, let's be intentional. So if I'm going for an outreach now, I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to spoil anybody's business, but if we're going to the ward to see children, be intentional what you're bringing for them. You're bringing some brands of sugary drinks that has no nutritional value to patients that are
in the hospital.
That means you're not
intentional.
Now, there's some drinks that, you know, they have some calories, but they still have some additional nutritional value. Can you consider that option? It's just your own little way of being, I'm concerned about your outcome. I just don't want to take pictures.
Yes.
A lot of people go to the orphanage, donate a pack of, I will not fill in the blank. What for? So people will see you and say, oh, you did good. Did you think of their health as you were going there? Now, how do I know this? When I was a copper, I used to volunteer in an orphanage. So I just walked to an orphanage. I told them, I want to be teaching one of the students maths. So give me the worst students. I just want to come once a week. I think I was coming once or twice. So they gave me a little boy. So I used to come and stay in the house and teach in the orphanage. So the other kids would gather around me because I stay in the park. They would come and say, are you his mother? Because they couldn't understand why this girl always shows up just to teach this particular. Say, they don't come, are you his mother? I'll be like, no, I just came to teach him. And now, because I'm inside there, you get to see more of what's happening. And you open some rooms, and because as I'm teaching, I could see some of the rooms, and you see cartons of some stuff there. To tell you, okay, these things are more, that means these kids, this is what they are consuming on the daily. What's the nutritional value, right? A lot of processed stuff. Now you go to the owner of the orphanage, her office, or sometimes I go there to interact with her, you see heap of clothes. Some of these clothes look like, you know how people just bring their bottom body clothes and not using it again. So I'm just trying to say, whatever we do, let's just put some intention towards it. Now, in our little space as doctors, can we be more kind to patients? Can we be more tolerant with them? Even if they come, I remember sometimes when my patients come and they don't take their medication, I want to shake them like, why did you take your medication? But also understand with them, it's not easy for you to tell a 30-something-year-old you're hypertensive and he has to take medications.
Every single thing.
It's not easy. So if you come from a place of understanding and be like, okay, why didn't you take it? I'm not too pleased with you. I could have gotten better results, but okay, how can I help? So you have to not just be, how will I put it, like, I gave you this, you did not do it, so I am upset. Do you get? Don't be too robotic. Just try to be a little bit calm. So in terms of the, will I say, facilities, your hands are tied because we all know the process involved. When I recently attended a seminar somewhere, and the department said, oh, they didn't have a ventilator. My husband sells medical equipment, so I called him on the phone and said, oh, how much is this equipment? He told me the cost, and I'm just like, yes, it's in some good millions, so I'm not like, is this something they can afford? He now went like, but you know, there are processes for these things to be acquired, especially for a government hospital. There processes. It's not just, you just wake up and say you want to buy this. And he said, those processes is what causes the problem. The pathway, there's a lot of bureaucracy. And he says, so things are not as easy as you think. And so in my little state, I just went like, where do we go? So the only thing you can do is now say, can you now start pulling some people that you know have the resources or are rich and pull them together and say, okay, let's say if the machine costs 25 million, that means I need just 5 people who are really bad at give me 5, give me 5, give me 5. And you see what you can do. Now, you may know this or you may not know this. The first time I came to Afia to talk was actually to trauma awareness on childhood cancer. Nobody talks about it. We celebrated World Cancer Day. How many people talked about childhood cancer? It's real. Now, it's real to me because I've had a family member who was affected. In fact, I was born in time too. And I knew how old they were when we got the news. So to people out there, it is just one of those things. But when it hits home. So I just came here to throw more light on it. And I was, I was invited to come and talk about something. I was leaving. I remember you approached me and, the rest is history. But I'm just trying to say, I came just to throw an awareness on something. I wasn't coming here to talk on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a TV station when I first came. I was when I got the call. Oh, it's a TV station, so it's not a radio talk show. You get. But I just saw, when I look back, I'm like, something as little as you just coming to make people aware. Mm-hmm. So make parents say, okay, if children can have cancer, how can we help? How can the bigger public be aware of this and contribute? So I had to go further to the oncology department, interacting with the professor and all that. And that's when she was telling me that a lot of the patients, they donate money for their chemotherapy. But how much is your salary that you want to keep helping? It gets to a point whereby you just have to be like, God, take the wheels. Do you get? So for me, I would say, please, let's just look at our facilities. Let's just look at our facilities. You go to teaching hospitals, there's some things that can be easily sorted out. Another area we don't pay attention to is the caretakers of the people that are sick. When my dad was ill, may he so rest in peace, I had to stop working at that because I had to be with him in the hospital because, a lot of family members are calling to ask him what's happening. So you need to give them the real, facts and all that. You also have to make sure, your dad is getting the right treatment. And I know how sometimes I just want to cry. Because I had a little son then. I just want to cry, like it's overwhelming. Now, God is awesome because some experiences makes you understand better. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you're in a teaching hospital and patient's relative doesn't have the test result on ground, as you're coming for ward round, you're already like, why is the lab result not ready? Didn't you go to the lab and all that? But have you bothered to ask that patient's relative, have you slept? Maybe this person was up all night because maybe their dad or brother was in pain and they sleep on the floor. Is there any special room that is given to them? Where do they bathe? Who takes care of their meals? Because the patients may get food from the hospital, but then who? So I was passing the facility the other day, and so the mother was there. She looked like she's a middle-aged Arab, so she was washing her plates on the floor. And also, this is the floor of the hospital that people are constantly passing. So I'm just trying to say, if we take cognizance of the fact that people are going to wash things, like especially things that utensils that they're going to use to eat, can't we just create a little slab that they don't need to, on the floor that, you can just imagine all the things. So maybe a child can come and do PD and all. Can't we just, so it's just the little things that can go the extra mile to just make a difference. So if we can get our private sector to work very well, that people are willing to fly in to seek healthcare here despite the cost, then I think brain power is not the issue, personnel is not the issue. The issue is we need to equip our public facilities to the point whereby the doctors are working, or the healthcare providers, from the doctors to the nurses, everybody's working with ease and not you're improvising. It just gets to a point whereby you just can't improvise no more. So I think to me that would be the key areas to focus on. And I'm just going to say this, for those who have the money, please just see how you can channel it. Because you people can comfortably afford the expensive healthcare, comfortably, can even fly and get the best. But please, there's some people who can't even dream of it. So it would be nice if people just roll that money in. Wherever state you belong to, go to the teaching hospital, the state hospital, and just say, okay, what is the pressing thing that you need? And I want to say this for those who donate stuff. When you donate stuff, also follow up. It's not just, okay, just to donate, we snap pictures, then we go. Come and, that thing you donated or the building you donated, a year after, come and see if the building is being used for what it was donated for. Yeah. If you donated like a big ICU unit, come and check, is it functioning? Is there any other thing they need to add to improve it? So don't just donate and say, okay, I've done my bit for them and step aside. No. Because when you show up, because you are the main donor, when you show up, they will open the door for you to come because they know you gave this.
Definitely.
So I think for us as Nigerians, there's a lot more we can do in the health sector. So this is like a little plea that please just really come, because there's some people that they have no hope except you use what God has given you to come and help them. So
in 3 minutes, what would you say is the legacy you want to leave behind? What would you like to be remembered for in line with all you've spoken about?
One, the doctor who always laughs, who brings a touch. I think for me, I'll just say that you experience me and you live happy. That is one, is important to me. Two, that I was intentional about the health sector and I brought a positive change. It's a pathway. It's a pathway, and I'm glad that I picked this profession. I'm glad that I keep telling people the other things. I'm a creative as well, so I do all the like side business and all that. So my whole idea is God has given you a lot of talents, use that, make money, then come and see how you can make sure the health sector gets to where it needs to be, because I've seen how intelligent. See, as in sometimes, God, I know you've blessed me, I'm smart too, but there's some people you interact with that you're like, wow, the ideas they have and what they have to give. So for me, my legacy will be that the healthcare sector there's a drastic change, and that optimal healthcare is gotten by everyone, regardless of your status in life. I think that would just be it for me. Make sure everybody gets access to optimal healthcare. That would be it.
We look forward to a time where that happens, and of course people are not judged by what they can afford. Everyone gets free healthcare, and I mean everyone is definitely good. One final break, guys. When we do come back, we will be moving on to the game segments. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the final lap of Nka. It's been such an impactful conversation, if I do say so myself. And of course, just also lending a voice to all Dr. Brenda Akanisi has already said. We all can do more if, we put our hearts to it. And of course, if you do have the means to do more, please reach out to our public facilities. A lot of people there are in need. Talking about orphanages. I mean, she gave us a lot of thoughts. You have so many things to think about from all she said. Food for thoughts. And it's something we all need to sit in our different confines and just try to think about ways that we can definitely make an impact in today's society. But it's time for our game segment. Are you ready?
Yes, do I have a choice?
I mean,
I'm not ready.
It's only right that I ask if you are ready.
Oh yes, Juma, I'm ready.
All right. So we know for a fact that you're a fun-loving person.
Oh yes.
You dance a lot. You sing a lot.
Before sing, comme ça.
Which is why we want you to sing one of your favorite tunes tonight. As we say goodbye. Yes.
I'm just going to keep laughing.
For any of your favorite tunes.
Is there a song that you can laugh?
There's a tune that will touch people's hearts.
I don't know. Juma, this is
you listen to a lot of gospel music.
Yes, I do.
So let me tell you in that direction. So which gospel music in recent times? You listen to a particular song per time, and there's a way it makes you feel. So which gospel song would you say right now, like when you listen to it, like you're in the spirit and it moves you?
Well, it depends. There's some gospel music you listen to where you want to cry.
Yes.
Then there's some that when you want to, you want to charge up.
Yeah. So pick anyone. Just pick anyone.
I would say Tobe Chukwu.
All right.
But I don't know the song. Like, well, it's only when they sing.
I mean, you can just sing
Juma, you know the song, so you have to back. Juma, you know
I'll back you up. Just start.
Tobe Chukwu. Nde Jehovah, Tobe Chukwu. Tobe Chukwu, he has done it for me.
That's enough. we're going to let you go like that. That is okay. But it was such a pleasure having you here. We can't wait to have you again to talk about.
This was fun. This was like as if just girls hanging out, chilling.
Which is why we're going to have you again on our account. But I mean, thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to a time where all the things we talked about here will become reality. I think that's one of the most important things that we should definitely be looking forward to, because there's a lot to do. There's a lot of help to give. And there's so much that we can definitely do in today's world in Nigeria and beyond. And of course, looking forward to when that happens.
Amen.
And it's important to keep a date with Ghana Plus every Wednesday. For those who don't watch Ghana Plus.
There's a lot to learn.
I mean, this week, I don't know. If you did not watch Ghana Plus tonight, you can definitely watch a repeat, sometime this week. But of course, on that note, we say goodbye. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. And do keep a date with us. Yes, every weekday from 8 p.m. through to 9 p.m. Keep a date with the beautiful, amazing Grace Ajayi for news tonight only on Afia TV. I am Jumai Bulama Ashebu saying good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.